Hi guys, and welcome to Prediction Week 9. We start a day earlier today. So we start with the 8 o'clock kickoff tomorrow. West Ham versus Brighton. I say West Ham have really struggled to get their season going this season. You know, they haven't scored a lot and they haven't won many games. You know, they haven't been the force that everyone thought they were going to be. Fair enough, they did have a bit of a tough start to the Premier League. You know, going to Manchester United away at the first game of the season, but they haven't really got going since then. Brighton, okay, they've just come up into the Premier League. You know, they've not done too bad, but they're not doing too great either. But no real expectations were on them this season, because obviously when you come back up, you're when you come up from the Premier League, you're expected to go straight back down. So there was no real expectation for them, which means that I haven't really got high hopes for this game tomorrow. No disrespect to those two teams, but I've gone for a bit of a dull game in this one. I've gone for West Ham 1, Brighton 1. We then go to lunchtime kickoff at 12:30 on Saturday, and we have Chelsea versus Watford. Obviously, Chelsea losing to Crystal Palace last week, and obviously Watford beating Arsenal last week. So, where do we go from here? You know, Chelsea will be pretty pissed off, that they lost to Crystal Palace. And Watford's confidence is going to be running really high at the moment, beating Arsenal. I am going to go for a win for Chelsea in this game, actually, because I've said to you before, sometimes you can get overly confident. When you win big games, and I just fear that that's what's going to be the case for Watford this weekend. We've just beaten Arsenal, maybe we can do it twice in a row. We can go and meet Chelsea now. And then you get stuck back down to earth, and you're like, oh no, okay. I did think Troy Deeney made some fantastic points by Arsenal last week, but I'll get more into that when we get to Arsenal. So yeah, I'm going to go Chelsea 2, Watford 1. Obviously, Chelsea are the much stronger side than Watford. They are at home, and as I say, they'll want to get a result after losing to Crystal Palace last week. So Chelsea 2, Watford 1 for me. We then have Manchester City versus Burnley. Manchester City are absolutely slapping teams at the moment. Champions League, Premier League, whatever you name it. I think it was 7-1 last week, something like that. I think it was 7-1 or 7-2, something like that. Absolutely battering teams at the moment. And I suppose in one way, Burnley's going to thank me for the result that I've gone for them this weekend, actually, because it's not great, but at least they haven't conceded 7. In my score prediction anyway. So I'm going to go Manchester City 3, Burnley 1. Man City are looking really strong at the moment, so it's going to take some stopping for them at the moment. Same as Manchester United. We then have Swansea versus Leicester. I've changed the result for Leicester this weekend. No 2-2. I have gone for a Leicester win. No 2-2. I've gone Swansea 1, Leicester 2. Changed it this weekend. We now have Huddersfield versus Manchester United. Obviously, again, Manchester United are slapping teams up at the moment as well. Looking really strong. They drew to Liverpool last week. I don't think it was the best game in the world, to tell you the truth, which I said last week it wasn't going to be. But, and that was the real test for them, really, was Liverpool. And they went and parked the bus, or some people like to say now, tactically outplayed Liverpool. I don't think people like to use the phrase "park the bus" anymore. They like to use the word tactic people out and that. So, but yeah, no disrespect to Huddersfield. I know it's at Huddersfield, and I've said they've done well. They've done quite well this season, Huddersfield. But I can't see a problem for Manchester United. I'm going to go Huddersfield 1, Manchester United 3. We then have Newcastle versus Crystal Palace, and again, the same situation with Crystal Palace. Just beating Chelsea. Sometimes you can be overconfident. So is it going to be the same against Newcastle? Not sure, but I'm not going to go for a loss for Crystal Palace, because obviously Newcastle aren't as strong. It's a completely different situation with Newcastle and Chelsea. So I'm going to go for a draw in this one. I'm going to go Newcastle 1, Crystal Palace 1. We then have Stoke versus Bournemouth. Change the 2-2 again for Bournemouth this weekend as well. No 2-2 for Bournemouth, but they are going to draw though. But no 2-2 for Bournemouth. I've gone Stoke 0, Bournemouth 0. No 2-2. So I did say I have to start changing this up a little bit, don't I? So yeah, no 2-2 this weekend, but 0-0. And then at 5:30 we have Southampton versus West Brom. A bit of a tricky game, this one, because obviously Southampton have struggled again to get their season going. You know, usually every single season we're going, oh, they've sold so and so, but they're still up there. You know, they're still dominating teams. You know, and they're still looking like a European favourite. Not this season. You know, they're looking quite poor. I'm quite worried for Southampton actually, because I say they're a good side, they're a good club. You know, and they're not really living up to their expectations at the moment. West Bromwich Albion, I can't think any more than them going for a draw at Southampton, to be honest, if I know Tony Pulis well. So I'm going to go Southampton 1, West Bromwich Albion 1. We now go to the Sunday kickoffs, and we have Everton versus Arsenal at 1:30. Not confident going into this game at all. Yes, Everton's been really poor all season. You know, I don't think they've got many wins under their belt. You know, they've been really poor, to tell you the truth. But what better time or better team to face when you need to get your confidence up and running, and you need to get some points on the board? Our best friend Arsene Wenger and Arsenal. As Troy Deeney was saying last week, you know, as a striker, you know, you always look to bully them, you always look to get into their faces, and you will get results. I will score, you know. And I thought, yeah, he says Arsenal are soft, and obviously he couldn't use these words on BT, but basically he was trying to say that Arsenal's back four, or you know, their midfield have no balls. You know, there's no backbone, there's no hardcore in there. Completely, absolutely spineless, gutless and spineless. It worries me because Everton are a fantastic club, you know, and there's something wrong at Everton at the moment, you know, and Goodison Park is a horrible place to go to if you're the visitor, you know. I think Everton are going to destroy us in possession and in, you know, and in results. I'm going to go Everton 2, Arsenal 0. I think we're back to where we started. Back to where we started. You know, yeah, people will say, you know, calm down. You know, it's one loss, you know, against Watford. Yeah, but that's the point. No disrespect for Watford. It's against Watford, and let's not kid ourselves. We played poor against Brighton, and we didn't play that great in the first half against West Bromwich Albion. So I'm told. You know, so yeah, it's the same old, isn't it? You know, you kind of get bored of saying the same thing about Arsenal. It's like, what else can I say that I haven't said before? You know, so just to clarify, Everton 2, Arsenal 0. And I've gone for a really, really lively game at 4 o'clock, which is Tottenham versus Liverpool. It's at Wembley. Yes, they did win last week, Tottenham at Wembley. But I've gone for a really, really lively game in this one. I've gone Spurs 3, Liverpool 3. I had to put one lively game in there this weekend, so I've gone for the last game of the weekend. Spurs versus Liverpool. Spurs 3, Liverpool 3. So that's been my predictions for this week, guys, and I will see you next week for next week's predictions. Thank you for watching, guys.